chart imitates life. This is the size of government under President George H.W. Bush, under Poppy Bush during his time in office. The peak you see there around 1990s when they hired people for the U.S. Census, which happens once a decade. But even if you just ignore that peak, you can see the general trend there is up. More people employed in government jobs, more cops, more firefighters, more teachers, more customs officers, more people doing work for the government, for the public. This is the government workforce under President Bill Clinton. He served 2 terms, so he was there for another census in 2000. That's the peak you see there, since the government has to hire a lot of temporary workers for the census. But again, even if you ignore that peak, the general trend in government employees, state, local, and federal combined, is very clear. It's up. Okay, now here's President George W. Bush, Bush the Younger. Same idea here. This chart shows what happened to the size of the government workforce on George W. Bush's watch. Again, the word is up. The trend is growth in terms of people working for we the public. Now here's the communist, the Marxist usurper, President Mao Obama, who's grown the government so huge, right? His time in office also included a census, so there was that temporary peak around 2010, but otherwise, you might not want to say this outright to your crazy uncle who watches Fox News all day. You might just want to clip and save this and put it on your fridge for him to notice himself. But President Obama, in his time in office, has shrunk the government. Now, this is not necessarily a good thing. We need more people working in this country. We need more jobs in this country. And government jobs are real jobs. A police officer who gets laid off is just as unemployed as a factory worker who gets laid off. Each matters the same in the overall economy. This is not a matter of ideology, this is just a matter of counting, right? But the myth of President Obama growing government does not match the rhetoric. Now check this out. In the recession of 1981, under President Ronald Reagan, here is what we did as a country to cushion the blow, to try to ease the impact of the recession. This is just government jobs during the recession. We added government jobs. That helps ease the impact of the recession and helps get us out of recession faster. In the recession of 1990, under Poppy Bush, we again, in that recession, added government jobs. That again cushioned the fall and helped us out of the recession. In the recession in 2001, under the second President Bush, same deal. Add more government jobs. You can see the pattern, right? Until this last time. Look, until the Great Recession, until the recession that President Obama inherited. And in this recession, government employment does not go up like we did in all the previous recessions. Instead, government employment falls like a rock rolled off a cliff, except for the little peak when it comes to the census. This recession has not been handled like the others, and the recovery from it is harder than it would have been if we weren't laying off all those teachers and snowplow drivers and cops and firefighters. Everybody understood before this recession that to get out of recession, you hire more people, not less people. We have never tried to recover from a recession this way before, not under Democrats and not under Republicans. This insistence this time from the Beltway, mostly from Republicans, but from Beltway common wisdom too, the insistence this time on cutting instead of growing. It is as though we have been fighting with one hand tied behind our back and one eye closed and our shoes untied in trying to get recovery from this recession. We have never cut government jobs when we were trying to save the economy, until this time. And now that we are finally stumbling back from the depths of the recession, we are still now cutting government jobs. Look at this. More than 720,000 government workers have been canned just since the recovery began. Last month, when the rest of the economy, the private sector, continued to add jobs, the government sent 9,000 public workers home with a final paycheck. Good luck, officers. See you around. So chart imitates life. We lionize and celebrate the people who teach us our multiplication tables and fix our streets and keep us safe at night and rescue us from fires. We lionize and celebrate them justly as we should. And then in record numbers, we can them, hurting them and hurting us as a country. Not every public sector worker is going to win the Medal of Valor like those 18 heroes did at the White House today. But there is reason to appreciate them, both in the heroic, individual specific and in the aggregate for what they do for us every day.